Credit ASU for making a couple big shots in the overtime. I was proud of how hard our players competed. I felt like defensively we were terrific. Really, at the end of the day, we forced enough misses consistently to get the win. With our smaller lineup, we just didn't rebound it well, and gave up 20 offensive rebounds, and that's probably the difference in the game. But I thought we competed hard. I feel awful for our fans and our players with such a heartbreaking loss because we really competed well and gave a great effort. But credit to their kids at Arizona State. The kid made a couple of huge baskets there in overtime that were not easy shots, and that really was the difference.
Mark, you held them to 20% shooting the entire second half. It was even better than that until about the last 2 minutes of the half. And then it seemed like in the overtime, all of a sudden you ran out of steam or something. What do you think happened? What changed?
Well, you're right. We ran out of steam. We don't have any depth, and everyone knows we don't have depth, and so everybody presses us, and ultimately it shows. In the altitude games and the mountain trip, it showed. In the back half of the second halves, and tonight it showed in the overtime. We wore down a little bit, and we just don't have a lot of depth in the backcourt, and we got to just kind of keep trying to battle through that. It is what it is. We got to find a way.
Can you talk about what you got out of Monty Bowser today? It looked like one of the better games he's played for you.
Well, Monty is a terrific player. He's a better young man than he is a player. He's a great kid, but he's a terrific shooter. He just doesn't have the game confidence yet. He had an awful injury last year, which really held him out of practice for 4 months. And so he really didn't get a chance to make the progress as a redshirt that you would hope. But he had a great summer. He's a really good shooter. He just hasn't had the opportunity to get the game confidence. And tonight, and last week, I was begging him to shoot, and I kept telling him, keep shooting. And tonight, he had a first couple go in. He relaxed, and I think he's realizing, hey, I can be a pretty good player. And it was nice to see him at both ends play well. I thought he was good at both ends, and he's got a lot of good days in front of him.
You have generally not been very happy with the way your team's played defensively. But can you talk a little bit more about what you did at that end tonight?
Well, the one thing that we've talked about with our team, when we defend in front of our bench, in front of the coaching staff, we've been really, really good. When the second half comes and we have to defend away from our bench, we haven't been as good defensively. And we've talked a lot with them about, listen, that's as young players, you have to grow up and be able to make the calls, the reads, and voice the calls away from the bench. And I thought tonight we showed some progress there, because we guarded them really well in both halves and until the bitter end. And I even in the tough shots at the end, those were tough baskets.
Your two big men played combined 29 minutes tonight. You went with a little bit of small ball lineup at times. What went into that decision, and how did you see that play out? Well,
they have great speed. Arizona State has great speed, and they keep bringing in fast athletes, and we just they were in the bonus with like 14 and a half minutes to go in the second half. We just couldn't afford to have slower guys guarding faster guys and keep sending them to the line, and so we decided to go small, and although that disrupts us a little bit offensively, it gave us a chance to win.
Let's talk a little bit about Grant Newell's progress. The guy really didn't have a senior year in high school, and it seems like for a while tonight he played quite assertively, more so than some other games.
Well, Grant's another young guy who's just going to be terrific. He's got a lot of great days in front of him. We pulled him at the end there tonight because he cramped again, but we brought him off the bench because we just didn't like the matchups that we'd had with our previous lineup, and Kwani had been ill, so he was back. But Grant handled it great. He handles mistakes. He moves past them quickly. He can start and play well. He comes off the bench and plays well. I thought he was really sound tonight. He finished a lot of key plays. And when he and Sam play together, there's a little bit of a risk there because there's not a sub for him, and they've been subbing for each other, so much this year. And so, but that's the situation we're in, and I think he's, like Monty, he's got a lot of great days in front of him.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.